my channel, Healthy with Nicole. I'm going to show you today one of the most awesome foods that you can make for your gut. So we already know that gut health is super important if we want to have overall health and wellness. We know that the gut health is really connected to things like autoimmune disease, depression and anxiety. All kinds of things start in the gut. So if we fix our gut, then we have a better chance at fixing our body overall and having great health in general. So I talk about in another video, and I'll put the link over here, about gut health and some of the things that you can do to repair your gut, and go into a little bit more detail there. But basically, we really want to focus on getting glutamine into the diet. L-glutamine is just an amino acid, and it happens to be really high in cabbages. The other thing about when we do cabbage is it is also a prebiotic fiber. So it's actually the fiber that feeds the probiotics. A lot of people take probiotics in a capsule and, you know, it's okay, but we don't know how much of that is getting into your body alive. They're living bacteria. So by the time we get it from the capsule to our stomach, a lot of that could be dead. So what we want to do is actually feed the bacteria that are already living in our gut. And to take it one step further, when we eat fermented veggies, especially cabbage, we are getting a ton of probiotics and different kinds. And so that's just happening in a couple tablespoons of fermented food. So this is super easy. I'm going to show you a quick method. We may not get through the entire thing, but all I have here is this jar. I really like this because it has this lid that will press out air. So it's important to keep all of the vegetables submerged in salt water. So in my jar here, I've added about 2 tablespoons of sea salt, and I just used this real salt. You can use any kind of sea salt, Himalayan salt. I mean, even iodized salt would be okay, but salt. You have to have salt. That will keep the bacteria from growing and while your food is fermenting. So any food really, and you could do green cabbage. I just happen to like the purple cabbage. I just happen to really like the flavor of it. It's sweeter than the green cabbage, and it makes really awesome color. And so, you know, this is what I like. So I will mention that the outer leaves are really nice to put in the top of your jar because it helps to push the vegetables down below the water line. And then when it's done, you can just take these things off, and I've already washed all this, so you can just take those out, and now the veggies that have been fermenting are already submerged. So it just makes it a little bit easier. You can also put a little glass bowl or plate or something that fits inside your jar to push down the vegetables so everything's below the water line. That's the only kind of key, is you really need to have that below the water line. So I chop mine into not really fine, but pretty chunky pieces, because I like the bigger chunks, that they stay a little crunchier once they've fermented. But you can, you know, change it to however you like it. It's just a matter of, you know, pieces like that, they will stay crunchier than little bitty pieces. So it's just a matter of how you like it. So set that aside for a second, and I'm just going to show you, I'm going to start to add the water. Now that looks like a lot, but it may even not be enough. And it's got a lot of salt, but that is needed to keep the product from getting, you don't want the food to, you know, get moldy and stuff in there. So you need the salt. The salt will keep the bacteria out of it. And so normally I would just stir that up a little bit, but just for video time's sake, I'm just gonna start to load in my veggies, and then I may just shake it up at the end. So again, I like a lot of chunky pieces. So you can grate it if you don't like it that way. I have made it green cabbage before, and I grate it so it has a really fine texture. Yeah, it gets a little mushier that way. So you can see these chunks are bigger, and I have even put huge hunks in there, like that big before, and it still ferments just fine. Again, it's just the key of time, salt, and keeping it below the water line. So I'm going to stop there. You could, you know, probably shove it down a little bit more, but I just want to make sure that everything stays completely submerged. You can see it's kind of getting its way to the top. So, and I may say need to add a tiny bit more water, but I'm going to go ahead and stop there, and I'm going to put my extra pieces on top, and that's just to keep the vegetables submerged and shove it down. See, I'm probably going to need a little bit more water. So I want everything shoved way down, and I'll just take another little outside piece just to make sure, because I want the water line to get pushed up. Okay, so I'm shoving now this piece in there, and I don't care if that one stays above the water line because I'm going to pull it out anyway and throw it away. And there's another little end piece that I'm going to shove in there. So just making sure that everything is below the saltwater line, and if you need to add something in there to push it down, that's totally okay. And then we're just going to keep it here, and I will say that it will start to bubble up. So I usually put it in a pan with paper towels on the inside. And then you're just going to leave that on the counter for 3 days. At the end of the 3 days, open it up, and don't be alarmed. It's going to stink. It's all the sulfur coming out and the gases, so it smells bad. But it'll aerate and it'll be fine. You'll probably see some bubbles and things like that, and that's normal. What you don't want to see is mold. If you see anything moldy on top, I have never had that happen, but if you do, scrape it off, take it out, throw it away, maybe even up to the first inch of the vegetables in the water line. And below that, everything should be good. It will have a tangy, tart flavor. And so a lot of people think that it's, rotten. It's fermented. And so now, once that's done in 3 days, open it up, aerate it, take the things off the top, throw it away. And from there, you just keep it in the refrigerator, and it lasts for actually months. Mine never lasts that long because I eat it. But there you go. There is an awesome food, really healing and medicinal food for your gut. You're going to have great energy from it, and probably some stained purple fingers. Anyway, I hope you like that video. You can give it a thumbs up and click the little bell below if you want to get notifications on all of my videos.